Good morning everybody, my name is Crystal and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today is Thursday. Good morning everybody, I hope everybody has a great day today. It's got a bit cooler. Yesterday it was quite chilly and I've got up this morning and it feels chilly as well. It's all overcast, so I don't know whether we're going to get sunshine later on. So good morning again. I went out last night with Max and I just wasn't in the mood really for taping anything. I just wanted to walk Max and get it over and done with. I just wasn't in the mood. I went out of the flats and I walked across the road and it had been chilly all day and I just didn't feel like filming in the evening, so I went straight onto the field and it was relatively quiet. There's hardly any people on there, and let Max off. He had a run around, but like I said, it was chilly, it was biting into my hands and I just wanted to come home really. It's been a strange few days. I haven't had any contact with my mum all this week. Normally I answer at least one phone call, and normally I get quite either depressed or angry after the phone call, so I've just been like neutral. I wouldn't say I was depressed, I wouldn't say I was cross, I would just say I was normal. My mum's calls sometimes anger me. They sometimes make me miserable by what she says, and I find by not listening to them I just feel normal. Just how anybody would behave really, normally. So it's just odd not taking one phone call from her, but I just want to be left alone to get on with my own devices, and life is like this, just normal. Anyway, I came off the field and I came into the block of flats. I'm trying to just carry on and it just not bother with what anybody else is doing and just get on with my life. As I was coming back to the flats, there was a hooded character stood against the wall. Just somebody with a hood over their head against the wall near the communal door. And there was lads on bikes round by the back. I held my head up, walked up the road, walked across and walked into the flats. It does feel intimidating when someone is stood outside the block of flats with a hood over their head, but I walked in and I was expecting like kids to be in the building or something, but there wasn't. So I went straight into the lift and there was broken pearls in the lift. Broken beads, but it looked like a pearl necklace that had been broken into bits. As you know, Princess Diana would have worn a real pearl necklace, and this is something my mum used to do to me when I went round to her flat, and she thought it was funny to give me broken bits of costume jewellery. And she kept saying, oh, this isn't real, this isn't real. My mum used to wear about 4 or 5 watches on one arm. Princess Diana used to wear 2, not 5. Princess Diana, yes, sometimes used to wear 2 watches on one arm, but I never saw her wear 5. My mum wore 5 watches and they're all imitation. She used to take great delight in, they're not real, they're real. I've got nothing in the cupboards, there's nothing worth anything. Princess Diana was a very rich woman She earned millions. She was a lovely woman. She rose money for charity. She helped the homeless. She was a kind-hearted, loving woman. And this is just pure disrespect. It's disrespect, it's taking the piss, it's mocking somebody that would have, you know, in her day, she was a rich woman. But why is it being done to me? That is the question. Why is my mother doing this to me? I've never been rich. I've always been poor. I grew up on a council estate in Sydenham, London. I did. I grew up in a maisonette, a council estate in Sydenham, London. What the fuck is all this? Broken pearls in the lift. It wasn't beads. Well, imitation pearls. Was it a real necklace? I don't know. I was just making sure my dog didn't swallow the beads that were in the lift. Why don't people pick things up? Beads are a danger to small children and pets. You know, why do you just leave it there? Why don't you pick it up? If I broke my beads, I'd pick them up. It's different if it's outside, right? I can understand if it's outside and it splits outside and goes all over the path, the road, whatnot. I can understand that. But in a lift, when there's kids and small animals, that's just silly. So it was done for me to say, I swear it. I swear it. In the recycling bin, someone had thrown a skateboard with a skull in it, a skull on the top. It's ridiculous. What are they trying to intimidate me for? And who do they think I am that they need to do things like that? Really? I've had enough of it with my mother. This isn't a real watch. This isn't real gold. This isn't real necklaces. It's not real gold and silver. I don't care. I don't value items like that. I'm happy to wear ordinary clothes, ordinary shoes and ordinary watches and jewellery. This is the cross of Jesus Christ. I bought this off of eBay. I value more in Jesus than I do fucking ornaments, objects and jewellery. You can't take it with you when you go. So what is wrong with people, honestly? Anyway, let's do the Alexa bit. But they're all being shown up for who and what they are. I mean, it's ridiculous. Alexa, good morning.
Good morning. On this day in 1849, the first safety pin was patented by American Walter Hunt. It took him 3 hours to come up with the design. Sadly, he lost the ensuing riches almost as quickly when he sold his patent for $400 to pay off a $15 debt. Ouch.
Isn't that typical? This guy who invented the pin, you know, was so desperate for money, he sold his invention and somebody else got the credit for it. Alexa, what's the time, please?
It's 8:27 a.m.
Alexa, what's the date today?
Good morning, Crystal. It's Thursday, the 10th of April.
Alexa, what's the weather outlook?
Right now in Rochester, it's 7 degrees Celsius with cloudy skies. Today's forecast has intermittent clouds, with a high of 14 degrees and a low of 4 degrees.
Alexa, can you tell me a joke?
I was lonely until I glued a coffee cup to the top of my car. Now everyone waves at me.
Alexa, who was born on this day?
Celebrities born on the 10th of April include Steven Seagal, Sophia Carson, David Harbour, Daisy Ridley, and Haley Joel Osment.
Right, I'm gonna do my daily puzzler. I wonder if Pearls is in the puzzle. Alexa, puzzler. Alexa, puzzler.
Good morning. Welcome back to Puzzler. Would you like to play your daily crossword or hear the high scores?
Daily crossword.
Okay, let's start your daily crossword.
Distance across. There's 5 letters.
Alexa, next clue.
Okay, we'll skip this clue.
Handed out playing cards. 5-letter word.
Alexa, dealt. D-E-A-L-T.
Next clue.
Grilled sliced bread. Blank blank. A. Blank blank.
Alexa,
There's
T-O-A-S-T, toast.
Wonderful.
pet rabbit's home. Blank
Alexa,
blank. T.
H-U-T-C-H, hutch.
You got it. You've completed half of the crossword.
Woman who practices magic. Blank
Alexa,
blank. T.
W-I-T-C-H, witch.
Cracking stuff.
Break out of an egg. Blank
Alexa,
T.
H-A-T-C-H, hatch.
Here's the final clue.
Distance across.
Alexa,
W-
W-I-D-T-H, width.
You're getting good at this.
You did it in 1 minute, 34 seconds. This was your 16th fastest time for daily crosswords.
Main menu. Would you like to hear the high scores, open shop, or exit game?
High scores.
Would you like to hear the daily or premium high scores?
Daily.
You're currently 1,111th on the daily high scores, with a time of 1 minute, 4 seconds, 243 milliseconds. You are 0 seconds behind your nearest rival, Wisely Evil Mammoth. Would you like to hear the daily high scores again?
No. No.
Main menu. Would you like to hear the high scores, open shop, or exit game?
Exit game.
Thanks for playing Puzzler.
Check out the highest rated voice games. Just say Open Yak Yak Games.
So I managed to do a crossword. My brain is fuzzled at the moment. Yeah, so pearls in the lift. Broken pearls. Don't get me wrong, is witchcraft involved in this? Witchcraft. It's just odd. The things that some of the residents leave behind in the building for me to see, it's just odd. I told you there was a skull in the lift a few years ago. Just the head, not the arms, legs and the bits and pieces, just the head, the skull. It's recorded on my Facebook what they do. The pictures get posted on Facebook. Last night I don't know if the pearls are in the lift this morning. I'll have a look in a minute, but you know, every time I open the door in the morning, the neighbour tends to come out, so we'll see. Alexa, LBC Radio.
LBC London from Global Player.
Get more from your smart speaker by linking to your Global Player account. You'll then be able to catch up on your favourite shows on your smart speaker. Just say, ask Global Player to link my account.
Conversations with fascinating people from the worlds of politics, news and entertainment.
I've been with people who are very successful and,
Still not happy.
well, not so much not happy, they're still not satisfied.
Well, you
they're not
used to work.
content.
Plus, there is so much more. Global Player. Download it now for free.
They say money never sleeps. But don't let your pension keep you up at night. Instead, combine your old pots and manage them easily with Wealthify. And you can earn between £50 and £1,000 cashback when you transfer to our personal pension. That's why the smart money's with Wealthify. To start your transfer, download our app or go to wealthify.com. Wealthify is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. Minimum investments apply. Registration closes 31st of July. T&Cs apply. Capital at risk.
When you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. Life feels better with a smile. Banning Dental Group Clinics. Modern, comfortable and affordable dentistry for all. See online for our price match promise.
That's DPD with a parcel for me.
Banningdental.co.uk.
Spring at last, and longer days mean so much more to see and do. So hop on a short train ride and open the door to musicals that reach new heights. An exciting new fusion of flavours. Chorizo haggis, please. Or wandering woodland hikes. From dazzling performances to scenic strolls, jump on a Thameslink train and open the door to more. Book kids tickets for just £2 today at thameslinkrailway.com, where every stop is a story. Terms apply.
Nick Ferrari at breakfast on LBC. Call 0345 6060973.
8:34, we might talk trade, but it's hardly surprising that it's policing that's dominating our conversation at the moment, not least in the light of that we have had the Home Secretary, and we've also had the Chief Constable of Greater Manchester, one of the three biggest forces in the country. Jennifer's in Hackney. What are you taking from these conversations, Jennifer? Good morning.
Good morning, Nick.
Hello.
I just feel that the police are two steps behind the criminals that are operating in the UK.
In
Things
what
like
way?
fraud. Think their responses are slow, if at all. You report things now, and the delay in the investigations is shocking. Things like fraud, they refer you to the websites to fill out forms, and then before you know it, it's days that have gone by, and there's just such a distance between people getting any form of proper investigations and justice. That's what I have as a response from people that I meet that are victims of fraud.
Have you been a victim yourself?
Oh, yes. I have, unfortunately.
I'm sorry to hear
And
that.
it was
Do
a
you mind
very,
me
very
asking
shocking-
what happened?
The thing is, with fraud in this country, rather than the police investigate, what they may try to do is then say it's a dispute that's a civil dispute. So it leaves you having to go and seek justice for yourself. And if you don't have the means, you won't get justice. It means you going to file and make an application in court to try and recover your losses. And criminals who are very good know that there's going to be that delay in response. They know that they've got that window of time. They know that they can then more or less get away with it. And that's why you've got that increase in fraudulent crimes here in the UK and no real combat by the police. But the Home Secretary's response is just ridiculous, in my opinion. She's taking police out of school. That whole concept of young people growing up and respecting the law, that's just going to be whittled away.
If you were a senior police officer and your main job is the protection of the people on your patch in your division or whatever, do you think that would be best served by putting officers who patrol the beat or officers who focus on financial fraud?
I would look at the rates of crime and types of crime and allocate accordingly.
Good answer.
Officers on the
That's
beat,
a good
yeah,
answer.
that's exactly what they should be doing. So one of the questions you should have asked is, looking at the increase in financial crime, what are you doing about it? Have you got trained officers? You've got officers that want to follow up on the reports and make the proper investigation. Are they trained? Because they're not trained, is that why you've got this increase in these houses, or what do you call them, whole methods being built in Asian countries and even in the UK that are equipped to just daily make phone calls and spam people and commit financial fraud?
These are the calls or the texts that come on your mobile phone, is what you're
They're growing because people are getting away with it. What is the Met's response to that? Fraud is getting smart. criminals are getting smarter. Are the police getting smarter?
I don't know. I'm sure they talk about how they're on training programs and they're forming squads and they've found an extra X million pounds to investigate. But lastly, you don't think that's the reality, clearly.
Not at all, no, I don't. Look at the statistics, look at where the victims are coming from. It's hilarious to see the shops that people are just walking in and walking out now. But everybody's seen that.
Well, they have. I mean, that's slightly different from the very... And I'm very grateful that you identified financial fraud, actually, Jennifer, because it's a hugely important issue. I understand why they're not talking about it today. That doesn't mean that I couldn't have put a question to the Home Secretary. I totally agree with you. But they're very much talking about neighbourhood policing. Jennifer, thank you. Phil, coming to you on that in just a second. Now, talking numbers there with Jennifer, let's talk numbers as regards British Steel. And again, congratulations to the government for securing the steel for a theme park in Chesterfield with all the millions of pounds that it's worth and the tens of thousands of jobs. Sensational. But why was there no pledge from Comcast, the ultimate owners, to say we will use British Steel for a British theme park? This is what you're saying on social media and texts. Roger and Brentwood, you must never confuse protectionism with expediency. A country without a steel industry is a country without a foreign policy. No steel equals no arms, no ships, and no aircraft industry. Well, remember, in Scunthorpe alone, the two plants there employ currently 3,500 people. They are facing the loss of 2,700 jobs there. There's 2,700 homes where I would imagine that may be the principal salary coming in, and all the local shops and businesses and the pubs or whatever it might support when those men and women lose their jobs. Patrick says if you're going to talk about protectionism, you need Sir Ian Duncan-Smith. China has a global monopoly on it. He's one of the best political speakers on earth to speak on it. You put Starter and Co. I think you mean Starmer and Co. need to learn from him. More protectionism isn't in a moment, but let's talk policing with Phil in Tiverton. Phil, do community or neighbourhood police officers, is that the way forward, do you think? Morning.
Not right now, no. Nick, I've been listening to you all morning, and I've heard Yvette Cooper, Home Secretary, talking. I've heard Police Chief Constable talking. I'm highly irritated and grossly nauseated by the way that they've been interviewed by yourself.
Okay, tell me what I've got wrong.
A lot of the facts are missing, mate. And I really don't think that you're representing the listeners here.
Okay.
Because we're fed up with the police. We can't trust the police.
Right.
They didn't even mention that. That wasn't mentioned to them. The fact that the majority of people in this country do not trust the police anymore.
Well, where do you get that from? Well, if I put that to the Home Secretary or the Chief Constable of Greater Manchester, she or he, in these cases, is going to say, well, that's very concerning. Guys, where do you get that data?
Where do I get that data? Well, I'm taking it from my own experience and many other people.
Secretary, sir, and I'm very glad you challenged me, and I'm not ducking the challenge, but for me to say to the Home Secretary, well, I've got this data from my personal view or stance, it's not going to really cut the mustard, is it?
Well, it has to cut the mustard because that's the way society is. The police are
If you present something like that, of that grave a charge, to a Chief Constable, they don't trust you. He's going to say, what you can't just say it's my feeling.
Oh, all right, well, let me apologise for saying that. Can I say the rest, please?
Well,
okay, accept my apology. Accept my apology, but don't disallow me to have my voice said.
We've got to raise the passport,
Listen, the police, we know that the police are not trusted in many things, so people are not reporting their crimes. They're not reporting their crimes. So
how do you know that, Phil?
That the police constable just came up with, they're not true, and they're not reality.
Okay. Phil, I can understand the passion in your voice. If you can come back with some data, some finding, and seriously, and you're absolutely right to criticise me. I honestly don't mind the career I've had. When you've been hollered at by Rupert Murdoch 3 feet from your face, honestly, there's nothing you could say. There's no Texas anywhere getting anywhere near me, so please don't worry about that. I've got a fairly broad shoulders and I've got a large arse as well. But if you're going to criticise me, at least say, well, Nick, did you know the survey done by the Upper Wook Police Force says that 97% don't trust police officers, rather than Home Secretary, do you know most people don't trust the cops? Oh, really? Why is that, Nick? I don't know, I just feel it. Doesn't work, does it? Shall we stay with matters involving the Home Secretary? And I spoke to Yvette Cooper in the previous hour. One question I did ask regarding the idea that Hamas no longer wants to be a proscribed or banned terrorist organisation. Her response?
Hamas is a terrorist organisation. It was a barbaric terrorist attack on October the...
So guys, this is my Panana mini fridge with a small cooler box I got from eBay. So we should see if it works a bit later on. That was DPT ringing the buzzer. I've just brought that up myself. He left it in the lobby.